first thing that I want to tell you guys about those styles in particular is that I have a preference for not prepping the hair at all. I don't use hot tools. I don't put any product when I do updos. But for this particular style, you cannot achieve those ridges or ribs, however you want to call them. I heard both ways. You cannot achieve those unless you prep the hair. So what we did here, in order to make the hair stay in that position, you need a lot of texture in the hair. So the first thing that we do is crimp the hair with a very small crimper. You don't want to see the texture of the crimper in the hair. It doesn't look pretty. If you guys are paying attention to this, I don't know if you can see, but it's not very visible. So with a small micro crimper, we're gonna crimp the roots from the ends, from the roots all the way to mid shaft. And from the mid shaft to the ends, I put a little bit of curl in it with a flat iron. I do not want to go with the crimper all the way to the ends because the ends will look fried. And most of the design, it's actually built on scalp, not on the length. So that's why I do not need that texture on the length. So roots to mid shaft, it's a crimper. From mid shaft to the ends, we're using a curling iron or a flat iron just to give it a little bit of texture, but a soft one. After that, we take the hair and we tease the hair, taking section by section and applying the volumizing powder. In addition to the texture that the crimper is giving to you, for the hair to stay in that position, you need the texture of a powder. Please choose to use light powders, not the heavy ones. The heavy ones get so sticky that it's very hard for you to work. And after that, you will have to actually apply hairspray on it for the ridges to stay in that position. So it's too much. Look for a light powder, and I recommend you to try to get the one that has a pump, so you can control how much product you're putting in the hair and where exactly you're dispersing that product. So I literally took section by section, applied powder from the roots all the way to mid-shaft, and lightly teasing. And I went from the front all the way to the back, just the crown area in a brick layer pattern. I did not go with sections because I do not want to have any lines of demarcation or heavy sections in between. I want all this to be blended. So when I started teasing, I started from here and I literally went in a brick layer pattern with my teasing. Again, powder from the roots all the way to mid-shaft, lightly teasing. When you're done, you're bringing everything to the back and you're just cleaning lightly. You don't want to clean everything because if you're cleaning everything, you're going to be able to see the scalp when you start building those ridges. So you want to make sure that you're only cleaning the top layer. The top layer is the one that you are going to build those designs from. Did that make sense? Good? Okay. Since we are building ridges and we're like literally grabbing section after section after section, I cannot use hairspray. In the beginning, I used to use hairspray, and it was very hard for me to control for the hairspray to go just on that ridge that I was building. And it was like going everywhere, and every time I was trying to grab the next section and the next section, it was like super sticky, and it was very hard because the hairspray dried on the whole hair. So eventually, I've learned that if I use a wax hairspray instead of a spray, it's much easier. So it has a little bit of set, right? But it's not a hard hairspray, and it has the wax that helps me keeps everything clean, shiny, and flexible for me to work with. Okay, so instead of a hairspray, you're gonna use a wax spray. This is my preferred one. It's from Redken, and it's called Wax Blast 10, and it's a hairspray wax. It's not a wax spray, it's a wax hairspray. So sets flexibly and keeps clean in the same time. Okay, let's get to work. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm not gonna hear anything, but I will pretend I'm interested. I'm trying to make you guys laugh and see if you're awake. Okay. Since we prepped the hair already, all we do, we're gonna go straight into bringing. What I wanted to remember is that even if you see me doing a down motion, I'm not actually pulling anything down. I'm actually bringing everything up. It looks like a down motion because I'm grabbing my section, and then as I go down, what I'm doing with this motion, I'm actually cleaning and emphasizing what I already grabbed. That's why it looks like a down motion, but I'm not pulling anything down, or I'm not putting any pressure on that, okay? It's very important to start at the roots. You don't want to have all that design in here, and then when you look from the front, all this is flat, and they look like they just got some wings in the back. We don't want dragons in here, right? Okay, so I grab my section. Your section, in order for you to know that you're doing the right thing, your section should be see-through. If it's not see-through, that means you have too much hair. That's not going to last. In the long run, it will go down because it's too heavy. I wish we had some music. So quiet in here. I seriously cannot get over how many of you are here so early. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I am so nervous. I'm like, look at me. Yeah, I did 10 times the restroom this morning. I didn't throw up, but my tummy is not happy. I was talking to my models in the back. I'm like, you would think that doing this for the past 5 years every weekend will help you get over those nerves. And I'm like, every time I do it, I feel like it's the first time. It's like I know I have the pooping and the throwing up program. I feel like a newborn baby. Someone just pat me on the back and changed my diaper. I was literally debating once to wear a diaper on stage. I'm not kidding you. How many of you have been in one of my classes before? Can you guys see what I did so far? No, the other side. There we go. Okay? Don't worry about the mess in between. I will show you how to clean that later, okay? How many of you have been in my class before? Okay, should we teach the other one some Romanian? Yes? You guys are not very convinced. So every time, as you notice, I put wax spray on both sides. I need both sides to be clean and set, not just the front. So every time we say, I do, are you guys ready? Okay. Every time we say I do, we say fuck. Okay, it's spelled differently. Don't write and comment on my page with fuck. It's spelled F-A-C. And we say fuck a lot, and we get away with it. Now you can too. And when we say goodbye, we say pussy, pussy. Which means kisses, kisses. Okay? Someone was like, wait, so you guys get married and you say fuck, fuck? That's insane. I'm like, no, girl, we say yes, and then we say fuck after. We actually say yes when we get married, not fuck. Like I said, that comes after. If you have a dominant hand, trying to get on the other side and work from here is not going to work for you. So stay in the same position and work over her head, okay? These are not going to come balanced with the other side if you have a dominant hand, okay? I tried that and it didn't work for me. So actually, let me do this so you guys can see what I'm doing. Better? You see, if I put that texture in the hair, how the hair just listens to me without even having to go and put a lot of product into it. So it's literally when you see those videos and you see them playing with hair like Play-Doh, and you're like, seriously? I tried that. It's not working for me. What do they have in those hands? Magic? It's actually the preparation of the hair that makes the hair listen to you. And having the perfect model, I have to admit. This girl has the perfect hair for that. So when you see me on the hallway, please do not be like, fuck pussy pussy Lala. Because the people on the hallway, they don't know what we're talking about. And if you comment on my page, spell it right, okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm serious. If I can hear what you're saying, I will be more than happy to answer. Hopefully I know the answer. I look like I know it all, but I don't really. So for those of you who never attended a class of mine, I came in United States back in 2006. I wanted to stay for 5 years, take my citizenship, and then go back home. I did not know any English. I had a few $100s in my pocket, and my daughter was 1.5. None of my education from my country was recognized, so I had to take a job as a property manager, renting apartments. I could not afford to have a babysitter because I was only making $240 a month working full-time as a property manager. The apartment was part of my salary, and that's why I was making only that much money. Can you guys see what we did so far? Now let me show you how to clean those, okay? We're gonna go back where we started. Let me see how I could, my dominant hand. I'm gonna hold and clean. Hold and clean. Hold and clean. Yes. What was that? It's her hair what? No. Of course. What did I just said in the beginning? Yes, it's teased from the roots all the way to mid-shaft. Lightly teasing. So probably you were not in the room, right? Thank you for coming, though, and for the question. And if you guys have more questions, I will be more than happy to spend time with you after, outside in the front entrance, and take all your questions. Okay. So did we understand? Did we understood how we're cleaning? Okay, we're good. I'm gonna go and emphasize these a little bit more. Is that me? I'm not farting, I promise. My earring? Oh, it's my earring. I used one from Hot Tools. I forgot mine at home. I have the one from Sexy Hair, and Cosmoprof had a small one from Hot Tools. That's a funny noise. I forgot to bring a wet towel with me. So when you do these kind of styles, have a wet towel next to you and constantly clean your hands. Otherwise, you're gonna start pulling hair because this gets really, really sticky. Unfortunately, I forgot about that. So if it gets messy, that's why. You guys already know that I know how to do clean updos, right? Were you impressed by that 4 minutes video? I was like, shit, that's so long. I have to work on that. I got tired and bored looking at it. I'm gonna make it shorter. No more questions? You guys are good? Now, oops, I don't want to mess what I just did here. So I'm not going to secure this with the regular elastic. Thank you so much. Look at this. I'm special. Okay, no more earrings for me. I do not want to use a regular elastic and play with this. I don't want any movement in here to mess with what I just did. So I'm going to use the bobby pin elastic technique on this. You guys are familiar with this one? Especially when you do ponytails and you don't want to mess with them. Which one is the group with 18 people from the same salon? Are you guys here? No? Well, okay. I'm happy the other 400 are here. So you guys think you can do this at home? At least you can try, right? Did it look easy? Now that you know how to do the preparation, it's going to be easy, I promise. The only thing that I don't like about these big screens is that they show everything. It looks so... And I look at this, I'm like, this looks clean. That looks like shit. I'm going to tease this a little bit because I have short layers, so I know those are going to give me a little bit of hard time because I already tried in the back room and I hated my life. You're good. Your hair is beautiful. It was so hard for me to find models. Everyone that responded had dark hair. I'm like, they are not going to be able to see anything. And of course, I'm missing a brush, my favorite brush. Can you tell how nervous I am to be here if I forgot my favorite brush? Well, I didn't switch to Romanian yet. How about that? So I'm doing good. If I do, let me know. Be like, Lala, that's not. So, getting back to my story. Came here in 2006, took a job as a property manager. Okay, I want you guys to hear what I'm actually saying. And I'm fighting with the cold, so I'm sorry if I keep doing. Where was I? I was a property manager, yes. I use the large bobby pin, yes. Especially when you're twisting the hair, it has the tendency to pop if you don't have a strong base to secure that. So yes, use, good question. Use big bobby pins. As I told you, I could not afford a babysitter, so I had to hold my daughter with me in the office. So I was working in the office. I already took my license in Romania as a Plan B. When I decided to immigrate in the States, a lot of my friends told me that their education was not recognized in the States and I should be prepared for a Plan B. So went and took my license in Romania already. When I came here, that was not recognized either. I did psychology and art in my country. So, and I assisted someone for 9 months before I actually came in the States. So I kind of had an idea about hair. In 2008, I decided to go and take my license in California as well. The first school that I applied to was a Paul Mitchell school. They denied my application because my English was that poor. Now it's my dream to go and educate in one of those schools. So then I went and applied to a different school. They let me in, and then they felt sorry for it, because I was that one student that didn't know, excuse me, to do this. Otherwise, I'm going to do this for the rest of 20 minutes. You don't want to hear that. There we go. And then they felt sorry because I was that student who didn't understand any English. So it was more like sign language. I actually met one of my instructors, Eddie, in the prep room yesterday. When he saw me, he's like, hey, I know you. I'm like, I know, Eddie, I was your student. Isn't it that fun to meet with your instructors and to see them that they are so proud of you? And went to a different school. I couldn't leave my job because it was paying my bills and give me a roof above my head. So I was in the office from 8 to 4 every day with my baby in my arms, renting apartments. At 4 o'clock, I will drop her home with my husband, and I would run to school. I would be in school from 4 to 12 every day, making it home around 1 o'clock, cooking, cleaning, getting everything ready for the second day, waking up at 7, running at work with my baby in my arms, do my work in probably the first 2 hours, and then every day in school, we would have 2 hours of theory, and we would have to take a test out of that theory the second day. My English was so poor that I couldn't take any notes in the class ever. So what I actually had to do every day after I would make it in the office, do my work for 2 to 3 hours with my baby in my arms, then take the book, take the chapter, take one sentence out, look for each word in the dictionary, put the words together, and try to figure out what the sentence says. And then go to the next sentence and next one and next one and next one. It will take me 4 to 5 hours to go actually after over one chapter to be able to take that written test when I would make it to school. We would have the theory, and then we would have up to 4 to 5 clients. So even though I was in school, I was still working.